Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 8th webinar of World Congress of Psychologists. And today's topic is psychological issues in taking vaccine before pandemic and during pandemic. I myself, G. Anupama, clinical psychologist working in Amara Hospitals. I invite our today's president, Dr. B.G. Reddy Garu, World Congress of Psychologists President. Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I now welcome Professor R. Subhashni ma'am, General Secretary of World Congress of Psychologists. I take the pleasure of inviting Professor Suresh sir, Treasurer of World Congress of Psychologists. I feel happy to invite Professor Neelam Rathi ma'am and
Beena madam.
Beena ma'am. I also welcome today's executive committee members and core committee members. And finally, I welcome all the participants, students for this webinar. Now I hand over the mic to Dr. Sandhya.
Thank you, Anupama. Good evening, everyone. Another day and a session to go on. Myself, Dr. Sandhya, Professor, Nitte School of Management, Bangalore, on behalf of World Congress of Psychologists, feel it an honor to welcome and introduce our professor. Our beloved Professor B. Govinda Reddy sir, President, World Congress of Psychologists, Sri Venkateswara University, Andhra Pradesh. Professor B.G. Reddy completed his PG and PhD from the Department of Psychology at Sri Venkateswara University, Andhra Pradesh. He joined as a lecturer in 1985, promoted as reader and professor of psychology in the same university. Professor B.G. Reddy held the position of director twice in the university. He served in the same university for 30 years, taught B.Ed, M.Ed, and MSc psychology students. He guided more than 17 PhDs and 18 MPhil students and written 14 psychology textbooks to Telugu Academy, Hyderabad. He also published more than 60 research articles in different journals. He is the founder general secretary of the Indian Academy of Psychologists, founder president of Inspire Professional Psychologist Society of India, founder president of Super Animated Psychologist Society of India, founder honorary president of Unemployed Psychologist Society of India, and the founder president of World Congress of Psychologists. On the above four psychological associations, many workshops, national and international conferences were organized. In the year 2020 alone, more than 35 national webinars were organized. Professor B.G. Reddy personally organized 55 physical awareness programs in schools, colleges, and universities. As a psychologist and as a lawyer, he extended counseling services to more than 1,500 families. With this brief introduction, I request Professor B.G. Reddy sir to give away the opening presidential remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Sandhya, for your nice words. Now, once again, welcome the senior professors, Professor Krishnamurthy sir, and also core committee members, then executive committee members of WCOP, and today's special speakers and eminent speakers are with us now. One is Professor Beena madam, senior most professor from Osmania University, Department of Psychology. Another madam is from Chandigarh, Neelam Setu madam. I am just welcoming you, madam. I am also welcoming the coordinators, Sandhya, Anupama, then other coordinators who are with us, and also welcome the today's participants who are available, who are participated in our midst now. Today's topic, as you all know, psychological issues in taking vaccine before pandemic and during pandemic. And here, our two speakers, Beena madam is going to speak about issues in taking vaccine before pandemic, and our Neelam Setu madam I'm sorry, here our Neelam Setu madam is going to talk about the issues before vaccine, pandemic, and later the Beena madam is going to talk on during pandemic. As you all know that everyone in our childhood, including myself, we used to afraid of doctors. You know why we used to afraid of? You know, once we go to the doctor and the doctor comes, approaches us with a stethoscope and he comes with an injection. Then one time we used to experience by taking that injection, we we had a very good, terrific pain. And subsequently, and later on, we used to just develop a kind of phobia to see the doctor. And any moment, any doctor, just by observing him with the stethoscope, we used to run away from. That's the moment, or we used to cry. Like that, we used to exhibit so many fears. And you know, the grandmothers, even now, and in olden days also, even whenever they are feeding the youngsters, that is grand sons or grand daughters who are in 3 years or 4 years, say whenever they used to give, I mean, they don't take, generally children will not take food, but here our grandmothers, they used to apply a kind of technique, a psychological technique. If you don't eat, I will call doctor. Then automatically the grandchild, no, mommy, no, more grandma, no grandma, just don't call him. No, I will eat, like that. They used to complete the food in a hurry manner, in a hurry, just they used to finish off taking the food. So this was a psychological experience we as children, and we used to apply even to our own grandchildren now. Next, coming to the another aspect, before pandemic in our particularly rural areas, that's what I observed. You know, patients, they used to come to doctors. Here, doctors, they used to give, though the tablets are so good and it works it out well, but the patient will not feel happy. Why? Because unless and otherwise the doctor gives injection, only they feel comfortable. And that's what include in rural areas those days. The so-called RMP doctors also, first of all, they give injection. Any patient comes, they used to give injection, and later they give some medicines. So they are quite comfortable. But you know, here in our place, rural area, just where my just native place, there also I observed 2 RMP doctors. They were immediately they give injections to the patients, and there were doctors. They established clinics. They were with MD super specialty qualification also. They established clinics, and you know, these doctors, they do not know the psychology of patients. They used to prescribe more drugs, but at the same time, they will avoid giving injection to the patient, and you know, they will not be satisfied. So that's why many of the patients in rural areas, they used to rush to the RMP doctors only. So subsequently, the so-called highly qualified doctors they are just closed their clinics, and they just again moved to town area. So this was the situation. You see, the psychology of the patient, particularly rural areas, is that without injection, or even they just request the doctor, no, doctor, you please give me one injection, please, like that they will request. Again, they will used to have such that injection, and then only they feel comfortable. So that was the psychology of the patients as far as rural areas are concerned. And coming to town also, urban also, the people who are uneducated, they also experience the same, they used to exhibit the same type of behavior in urban area too. Next, actually, in our midst, Professor Sudhakar Reddy was with us. Just he was basically neurosurgeon, and It is moreover CMD super specialty qualification. Just one of the clients happened to be my cousin. She is also teacher. So twice I accompanied along with my cousin to Sudhakar Reddy garu. Sudhakar Reddy garu he just prescribed very few medicines to my cousin. With that few medicines, my sister was not comfortable. Again, she requested Dr. Sudhakar Reddy sir to prescribe some more medicines. But in spite of many a times explained the so-called Sudhakar Reddy garu to my cousin, but she was not happy. And later, having known the psychology of my cousin, again Sudhakar Reddy has prescribed some more drugs to her. So here, their contention, their lifestyle, their psychology is more the medicines if they swallow, and immediately their bodily ailments can be cured. That was the psychology of many of the patients, though they are educated. Then coming to, that was the psychological issues, particularly I observed. Now coming to this pandemic, here pandemic means way back last year in the but we received that March 22nd onwards, our India just went on lockdown. Here we experienced many problems. And people, they are just habituated to, in spite of several awareness camps and awareness camps by the police, awareness camps by the public, awareness camps by the governments, or whatever it might be. Actually, they were habituated to just move very freely in the environment or society in different activities they will be attending. But later on, some of the people, they just affected with COVID, and later they went to, the government took some kind of measures and put them in isolation. And subsequently, many COVID patients, first wave, many a COVID patient during first wave, they died. So not that they do not have immune system, but the channels, the media, as well as including doctors, they could not be able to, they are also in conflict. They are not able to give scope. They are not give any kind of courage, because even the doctors, MD doctors also, because this virus happened to be a new one for them also, could not be able to digest, and they could not guide the patients, COVID patients properly. And many examples you might have noticed, judiciary people, top police officials, and they died. They died because of fear psychosis only, fear psychosis. And every day in the channels, we used to observe, okay, today this month, this many number died. Today this many number died. So like this, these channels, and including doctors, and including anyone, could not give any kind of assurance to the so-called COVID patients. And coming to the second wave, it was quite serious. Compared to second wave, first wave was a little bit, I think the death rate was a little bit less compared to the second wave. Here coming to the second wave, the death rate also within a little bit of, just they are attending to the doctors, they are joining to they are admitting to the hospitals, and immediately in a little bit of span of 3 days, they are coming out as dead bodies. That was the situation as far as during pandemic is concerned. See, because of psychology, purely because of phobia, fear, psychosis, they could not be develop a kind of immune system. So subsequently, many people throughout the world, there was a greater loss, and many people died because of fear only. And so this is the observation. Just simply, I wanted to give it to the, as before, in our midst, our two experts are with us. Now, Thanks for listening to me. Now I request Dr. Sandhya to go ahead with the program. Sandhya, please.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. Now, on behalf of World Congress of Psychologists, I would like to welcome and introduce our speaker of the day, Dr. Neelam Rathi. Dr. Neelam Rathi completed more than 20 years of teaching experience, and at present, she is working as head of the Department of Psychology, Postgraduate Government College for Girls, Chandigarh. She did her master's degree and PhD from MD University, Rohtak. She is actively holding many positions in the college: convener of International Students Affair, Drug De-Addiction Center, Chief Warden Hostels, Chief of NCC, and also research editor. She has published many research articles, national as well as international journals. She is also a member of many academic bodies. Dr. Neelam Rathi has completed ICSSR and UGC minor research projects. Currently, she is working with Caregivers Impress Major Project funded by Ministry of Higher Education. I request Dr. Neelam Rathi to speak on today's topic, psychological issues in taking vaccine before pandemic.
Thank you, Dr. Sandhya. Thank you, Professor Reddy, for inviting me to this webinar. And I congratulate the organizers for conducting this webinar on such a significant topic. And as Professor Reddy said, the injections, the vaccination is also somehow related with injections, injecting the medicine. The mixed feelings towards injections has always been there in our society. We have created that phobia through social learning by, as Professor Reddy said, by inducing that fear in the child, as well as then we don't have that satisfaction with the tablets as medication. We want injection because we think they are more effective. So both kind of thinking and attitudes go in our society. When it is about apprehension, then we have apprehensions also. Then we have to believe in the effectiveness of that. Then we have belief in that injections tend to be more effective as compared to the tablets, the chemical tablets. So the topic which I am given today, psychological issues in taking vaccine before pandemic. Well, Professor Reddy, everything nowadays is about the vaccination during the pandemic. So you have given me a bit more little difficult topic to talk about. But I would say whatever I could think about it, I could pen down the thoughts. So orchestrating vaccination programs, it is a step taken in the direction of protecting people from various life-threatening diseases. And the success of these programs depend not only on the efficacy of the vaccine, but also on behavioral response of people towards such drives. The people who have to take these vaccines. Certain psychological issues are always attached to taking vaccine. COVID-19 was no exception. And even before this pandemic, the world has witnessed several such diseases for which developing effective vaccine has become imperative at the time of occurrence of such diseases. Polio has been one, measles, hepatitis, HIV, we still don't have any vaccination for that, so on and so forth. So over the period of time, and specifically in current scenario, it has become evident that mental reservations by people in taking vaccine can become a potent cause of non-achievement of herd immunity, which is required during such pandemics. So there are various psychological concerns that can be related to taking vaccine, for that matter, also not taking vaccine. Reluctance, hesitancy, and rejection of vaccine have been an ongoing issue worldwide since the late 1990s, right from the population demography to people's attitudes, from individual differences to persuasion approaches, all bear potential effect on human behavior of taking or not taking a vaccine. Some of the common factors that can be highlighted are vaccination hesitancy. So vaccination hesitancy is the biggest factor in not taking vaccination. Now also we are having this, and earlier also there used to be this kind of hesitation. And this hesitation comes from the beliefs, the attitudes of people toward these vaccinations, toward the disease, toward the vaccination. And the beliefs, the cultural differences, as Professor Reddy was talking about in rural and urban area, they are the belief system. We consider certain things to be more effective, or we are quite apprehensive about certain other things. So these beliefs have been important. Then the past experiences of people, they can be related to their own experiences, and they can be about what they have heard from others' experiences, their stories. And most importantly, it is the trust in medical and scientific institutions developing the vaccine, trust in the healthcare system, trust not. So that is the main issue, main psychological concern, which creates a kind of environment whether we should go for the vaccine or not. So that after hesitancy, then if we move ahead, then it comes vaccination refusal. We get into a total negative mode that we are not going to take this vaccination. And the most important part here is the complex socio-cultural milieu of consumerism. We have a tendency to think that this is a initiative by the companies, the multinational companies. They want to earn money. They are just propaganding about this thing that, okay, you should take the vaccination. And pervasive misinformation. We are also misinformed about that, whether how serious the disease is, how effective the vaccination is. So all this system of misinformation creates a confusion, and we totally reject the objective scientific evidence as truth. Then there are certain vaccination barriers, fear being the biggest of them. Fear which is induced from the beginning, from that fear of pricking of the needle that develops in a child, and to the later on, the side effects. Most of the medication in this world have side effects. Vaccination, because they are based on the viruses itself, creates the biggest fear, because they are just putting the antibodies which have been derived from the virus itself, any of those diseases. So that fear, how it is going to affect our body, maybe our system becomes more reliant on that, where maybe our immune system fails totally and we become totally dependent on those medications or vaccination for further things to deal with other, maybe how it is going to affect our heart functioning, or it is going to affect our liver, our digestive system, kidneys function can be affected. So that fear becomes the biggest barrier in taking vaccination. Then side effects, of course, they are important, because many medicines have side effects. So have the vaccination. Vaccines have many side effects. And during the COVID also, the COVID vaccine had the biggest issue of people not taking it was the side effects. There were many rumors in the beginning in the USA also that the body is collapsing, it's paralyzing after the vaccination and all that. And this concern have always been. And why about only vaccine? We have seen people around us who do not take even a headache medicine. No, it is going to have side effect. And they will keep bearing that pain. And the science has proved if you don't take the medicine, your neurons are going to get affected and affected. More and more neurons are going to affect if you don't prolong taking the medicine. But the fear that, okay, it can have further effect. We do not realize that if we don't take this, it is further going to deteriorate the situation. Then concern about the safety and its side effect, which we talked about, how effectively it is going to work with our system. And to deal with all these, the hesitation, refusal, barriers, then the government and the agencies usually run the campaigns. The most effective campaign in our times we have seen was the polio campaign. And I think when Amitabh Bachchan got involved in that became a more household thing. Okay, do boon polio ki, and something like that slogan went up. and it became successful. The country became polio free with that vaccination. So campaigns are important in our program, and how successful the vaccination program becomes, that depends on the campaigns. If more of the industry, the business industry, is involved in that campaign through advertising and all that, then it seems like it is their business propaganda, and we do not believe that. But when the government agencies, when the people of high repute, sitting on significant positions, when they come forward and they talk about those campaigns and that this is effective, we have that kind of tendency in our mass population to follow the idols. So the idols, when they come forward and then when they try to persuade the population, the people, to take the vaccination, and vaccination becomes successful. So that kind of psychology of consumer psychology, as well as the theory of persuasion, they both should be considered. The consumerism should be kept the minimum in this, and the persuasion and suggestibility should be there, where we can connect with the people who are telling us to take the vaccine. Then decisive aids also are effective in taking vaccination, like the family and the friends who have taken the vaccine. If they have taken vaccine and they are going good and they give you good reports, then you go for vaccination. Otherwise, you become very hesitant. Or if they get kind of serious symptoms after taking the vaccine, we become even more hesitant. Oh no, it's going to affect our system very badly. They have got so much after effects after the vaccine. So that decisive aids which are surrounding us, our immediate environment, our social environment, the people in our circle, they also play a big role. I should not come to the COVID vaccination, that's out of my talk area. But when I took COVID vaccine, I took quite in beginning the first dose, and there were many apprehensions. Okay, though there will be fever for 2-3 days, and the body ache, the pain in the arm, and all that. I had nothing. So that sent the message across my family. No, it's nothing. You can take vaccines like a usual day. So that is also very important, the psychological factor, how we take the things. Then risk perception, how we perceive the risk, or how much risk is involved in taking the vaccine. That is also important factor, psychological factor in this. If someone close get affected by the disease, then we become very pro towards taking the vaccine. And if somebody else has gone through the disease and nothing has happened, we think, no, our immune system is strong enough and we can come out of it. There's nothing much to worry about it, or we have not suffered it. We have only heard about others. When we are hearing about it from others, then it is not affecting us very much. As Professor Reddy was saying, the first wave, the difference in first wave and second wave. Okay, the number involved was much higher in the second wave in India, though in other countries, the first wave was more stronger than the second wave. In the first wave, we were listening to stories of people in newspapers. No direct information was there, the people in our direct contact. But in the second wave, then when the frequency was so much, every third person or fourth person we were listening, oh, that is going, I teach in a college and we have a group of our faculty, and for long 2 months, daily there was some news in that group of somebody losing their parents or in-laws in that, and no day was missed. And it was such a effect, kind of psychologically it was inducing fear. Oh, it is happening in every family nowadays. So that perception of risk is also important in deciding about whether we should take vaccine, or we are going to take vaccine, or we are not taking the vaccine. So about around all these attitudes, they can be and they should be, they can be changed by the communication campaigns and the social discussion groups, and like the events like this one, which is happening right now, which can help in spreading awareness okay, vaccine is not that bad, it can be taken. And these campaigns are very important in involving or in inducing active debate worldwide. And they certainly help in spreading awareness about the benefits of getting vaccinated, and they help in promoting pro-vaccine environment. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Neelam Datti, ma'am, for sharing the psychological issues in taking vaccination. It was very informative. Now, on behalf of World Congress of Psychologists, I take it a privilege to introduce our guest speaker for the session, Professor Beena ma'am. Professor Beena ma'am retired from Osmania University. Presently, Emeritus Professor and doing service to the Department of Prisons and Correctional Services, Telangana State. She was the first female registrar of Osmania University. She was the director of ICSSR Southern Region. She has been conferred with emeritus title by the Department of Prisons, Telangana State in the year 2020 for her distinguished contributions. By establishing Counseling Wellness Center by the university, since 2011 onwards, she extended services to more than 50,000 students. Professor Beena has to her credit Ashoka Fellowship Award, State Best Teacher Award, and State Innovation Prize, which is bestowed in the year 2018. She has guided more than 40 research scholars and has completed more than 15 research projects related to ISRO, European Union, Global Fund Round, ICSSR, and UGC. To her excellence, she was invited by the Harvard University, USA, to present her work and contributions. It is one of the finest and really a rare honor bestowed. Now, I request Professor Beena to take over the session.
So good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Sandhya.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hi. So very good evening and thank you, sir, Reddy Saab, for inviting me for this. The moment you told me that I have to speak on this, I was trying to break my head. This is something which people have not been asking, but right day in and day out, we are talking about this, listening about this. And I think it's a good idea to spend some time, give some thought to what's happening and how is the behavior can be understood related to this whole thing. So I tried to gather some points and look at it from psychology point of view. And my whole context for this is my interaction with common man, interaction with some of the prisoners as to what is happening exactly with this pandemic and why they want to refuse or why they want to deny taking this vaccine or why they're over enthusiastic to take vaccine. I mean, they're so stressed as to when the vaccine is going to come to their own unit and when they can. If you look at the queues today of vaccine, people who are ready to take vaccine is something like about 1,000 to 2,000. And the tokens they get is something like about 50 or 60. And there are many people who are going back home without a vaccine. So what goes through with these people who go back without vaccine, which means they have to come back again. They have to keep coming back till they get their token. So there is some kind of a free-floating anxiety in people of all class related to the vaccine. When will they get vaccine? How do they go register for this vaccine? How many people are there and where will when will my stand come? How long is the queue is something which is bothering a lot of people. This is so peculiar. We had other disorders like smallpox, polio, as ma'am mentioned, and so many other things. Only one person in the family would have got affected. the whole involvement is only with one person, or the mother, father, and the client or the patient. But this particular thing is completely affected entire family. Entire family needs to take vaccine, make sure that they are safe, that they are controlling their environment and not moving. Along with this whole pandemic, this particular virus, we have so many associated paraphernalia, as we call it as. There is a mask. Without that, you can't do things. You can't go out. You can't eat out. And there is something called as social distance, no movies. When polio came, all these things didn't happen. When some other disorder came, this kind of a thing never happened. So this came with a lot of other things, like one Batkama, you keep putting flowers and flowers and flowers and make it so huge. That is the whole thing. A pyramid of things, behavior, which gets surrounded and keep mounting is what has happened with this particular situation. So there is, in the whole house, everybody is talking, everybody is thinking, everybody needs to go for a vaccine. And when will each one get their turn to go for a vaccine? So even in villages today, one first talk when they go to fill water near their well is, have you had vaccine? Earlier, it used to be what chicken curry you made or mutton curry you made or something else which you made, and who are the ones who have come. So a lot of gossip used to go around by the time you fill the water and take it and keep going along with it. But nowadays, it's something to do with. And they're constantly talking about, yes, there are some individuals who have taken this, and I believe this did not work. So there are also some input which we all have. The moment you take vaccine, you might get fever. The moment you take a vaccine, there will be some kind of a reaction. The reactions range from simple fever, 102, 103 fever, to death. That is the range. Now they are counting, they are completely misinformed whether they died with COVID or whether they died with vaccine. People are confused. Death is seen, but they had vaccine and now they died, which means vaccine would have caused death. So there is lot of rumor which goes on. I would definitely call this as rumor, because there is no basis for correct information related to this. So there is a lot of misinformation, anxiety, and you are very vulnerable. You have to have so many things around you if you want to fight with this. In spite of taking vaccine, you still have to be guarded, and you will still have to take care of yourself, which means your mask you cannot throw away. You cannot get rid of your distance. You cannot start going to wherever you want to go. So there are all these associated things are still with us, which we have to maintain. It's, for us, it is a high maintenance. This COVID thing is a high maintenance thing, because that you have to do so many things, not in terms of money, but definitely in terms of time, in terms of care, in terms of consciousness. This is something which we forgot long ago. Keep doing things, related, unrelated, whether it is relevant to you, not relevant to you. Basically, we sacrifice something like consciousness in doing things in our life. But there is now something which we have to do more carefully with care, consciousness. So that feels a little more taxing to a lot of individuals. So there is some kind of a free-floating anxiety in the family, not just one person, because everybody got involved. And there is this uncertainty related to, when will I get mine? I'm all the while watching TV, I'm all the while calling hospitals to find out, did my brand of vaccine has come or not, whether Covishield has come, Covaxin has come, whether it is 28 days, whether it is 1 month, because they are also raising a lot of time, changing from 14 days to 28 days, from 28 days to people are. You also must have heard about how to understand that we need 2 doses. The gap between these two doses is very, very uncertain. Government is very certain. It is also availability. It's also government. It's also politically driven program. So things are changing. You must have heard about people who have stood in one lane, got their first vaccine, and without even knowing, they went to the other lane where second dose is happening. In their confusion, the same individual has taken 2 doses in a given day. So what can you say? People, poor people, they go with their own understanding, they go with their own misunderstanding, and this creates, So calculating, we are not very sure about calculation. If I ask you, sir, when did you take your first dose? Do you remember, sir? Have you taken the second dose, sir?
Madam, myself, the 2 days back only, I took first dose for your information. Because I myself had a confusion whether to take or not to take.
So this confusion, yes, we also think about whether we should take or not. I know many individuals, sir, who end up saying that I don't require this.
Yeah.
I have so many other things. Like for instance, I have nothing against Anandaya's medicine, but because I have taken Anandaya's medicine, I don't require vaccine. Now, how are you going to convince these people? Anandaya's medicine also came up to Hyderabad, sir. Somebody was asking me whether I would like to take Anandaya's medicine and not take second dose. So my mind says, keep that aside, take Anandaya's, no harm, and go back and take your second dose. But there is a confusion in me. There is something which is also happening with us. There are a lot of cognitive labeling which is going on. Somebody got this, somebody has pain, somebody had leg pain, and I have somebody developed a lot of fatigue. So because many people said that they have this fatigue and not being able to work and all, suddenly I also feel after my vaccine, I'm very fatigued. 2 days I want to take a holiday. I want to apply leave. I'm fine. Everybody is not getting all these symptoms. You yourself see whether you are getting it because you heard 10 people saying that they got it. What exactly has happened to you? Have you ever noticed? Have you ever thought about? And if it is not happening, there is anxiety, sir. For many people, there is anxiety. Nothing happened to me, whether this medicine is working or not. Should you go, whether they gave it correctly, whether that nurse who was there or a person who gave me an injection, whether she gave me enough dose of medicine. A lot of this confusion is going on. A lot of this confusion is. People are outside in the community. People are talking. Zomato fellow is talking. Your courier fellow is talking about this. Your information comes from all these people. Your milkman is talking. Your vegetable vendor is talking. Amma, have you finished yours? I didn't get it. I stood in the queue. I mean, there is this information overload about this whole thing. Initially, people didn't come to take vaccine. Why? Many times in our own class, if you ask a question, even though they know about it, their first fellow will take a lot of time. Same for us. To go in the beginning, we all were waiting. First, we want to watch. Then we want to listen. Then we want to act. And after acting, many times we regret. Because now there is a choice between Covishield, Covaxin and all that. People are regretting, why did I take Covishield? Covishield is not good. Who told you? Milkman told. Amma, somebody told me that that first one is not good and the second one is much better. So I am now again into my own confusion related to this. So there is this this labeling which is happening. We call this very popularly as cognitive labeling, and my reactions I'm labeling and then I'm feeling it. And there is also what we call it as self-fulfilling prophecy. It should happen, which means I should have anxiety. My body should go through temperature. My body should also go through all these things, fatigue and other things. And then I'm beginning to feel that. Other disorders or other stuff which came, diseases which came, didn't have this kind of a intense hit on each individual in the community. And we have TV going on almost every day. Initially, when it came, we were almost watching like cricket. What is the score in USA? How many people died there? How many people died in Telangana? How many people died in Andhra? How many people in UP? How many people? We were constantly looking at numbers. Nowadays, we have reduced watching TV on, but we still, every day, at least for 5 minutes, we want to go and check what's happening with the hospitals. And whether you take vaccine, you don't take vaccine, if somebody is admitted in the hospital, that is another plight. Every hospital, if you admit someone, you can go visit morning, day, you can stay along with them. There's another issue, very intense issue, which has happened. At least in an urban area, this has hit us very hard. You cannot go to the hospital, even if you admit someone there for 5 days, you cannot go see them. Now, our imagination is what's going to happen. Many times, beds are not available. Whoever was lucky was able to get a bed, and we were able to put one person. Immediately, another person in the house also became ill. Now, what are you going to do? We don't have big houses where we can isolate someone. We only have one room in the house and one kitchen. You cannot restrict a person, and you cannot restrict the movement. What is isolation? If you have seen some in one village where there is a hut and they prescribed isolation to this boy, and this boy has put one cot, tied a cot to a tree. So he used to come down, eat, and go up and sleep on that cot. That was the best isolation he felt he had in one of the shots I have seen. So if we are looking at it, then there is a lot of this labeling is happening. It is our responsibility. If somebody comes, then how do we try to reduce anxiety, which is causing due to this labeling? How much anxiety is causing because of the self-fulfilling prophecy, and how much we are, the entire family is discussing or going through. Each one is going through with different stages. Somebody who's 65 in the house is going through a different stage of COVID. Somebody who's taking care of the kid and not allowing kid to go around is another condition which we are all going through. Very intense, very intense. Then isolation, and then mask. How many of us can afford this mask? We want a mask where we can wash, and they prescribed something which is N95 only. I was able to distribute a lot of masks because jails manufactured thousands of masks. I was giving gift only masks to people because I was buying it from there. And suddenly they said these masks are not useful. I was getting the sanitizer again from the jail because they were manufacturing the best possible sanitizers. And I was gifting people. The whole gifting changed for me. So we are doing very different things with all this. One is this is so many things associated, right? So we are more focused on understanding, going through this anxiety, but we are not looking at coping. Coping is something which we should start looking at. Fine, it is there. Not only me, everybody in the house will have to. So if we direct a little bit towards the coping, how will I help my own family? I can't go and do anything outside right now, but how am I going to reduce their being psychology professionals? What is that we have done in our own family? What is that we have done to ourselves? So this is something which we need to still now, it has not gone. And sir still has to take a second dose. I don't know what kind of anxiety he will go through, where he will go through, how you will register, who is going to accompany you if you faint. All these things are there. If you go to a hospital, they're giving you a juice bottle, or they say, okay, bring someone along with you. We don't know how you will go through. So all these already they are predicting that, look, there may be a possibility of you fainting or having some severe reaction. So bring someone along with you. This someone who is coming with us, who wouldn't have had vaccine, doesn't want to come with us. There's nobody who's willing to come with us these days. Anybody who say hospital, accompanying someone to hospital is a no. Gone are those days. They don't want to accompany us anywhere. So what's happening to the world? Sir, one last interesting thing I thought, because we are all psychologists to know about it. I have some friends who are Ashoka fellows who work with red light area, sex workers. I was always wondering what would happen to these people. In this pandemic, they cannot come so close. What would happen to their livelihood? These are all registered people from that area, and they were living. And so I had to call up this lady who works with them, who works with their children, where she facilitates the schooling of those children because they don't want them to come back to the same profession. I was so happy to know how they are coping with it. They said most of them have changed their business. They have already adopted themselves. They are selling vegetables. They're selling fish. They have completely turned around to start doing small business and not going. Even though there are many, their clients or their customers are coming and offering more money, they are saying no to them. So this is something which I felt is the ultimate where the coping is concerned. I mean, the changing of. I'm taking this example because it is the example which touched my heart when I heard. And I was chasing this Ashoka fellow for many days because I wanted to know. I was thinking what would happen to these people. And when she told me, it could be a worst example which I'm quoting, sir, but it's a human example, which I thought I should bring it to you. So coping is something which is required in every way, in any way. So many days we were not doing anything but watching TV. We could have taken a book, we could have finished all the books which we wanted to read. How many of us gather so many books, buy so many books, we don't give it to anybody, but then we haven't read so many books. We could have used that time to finish that. We could have used that time to read books, or we could have used the time to reflect on a lot of issues which we always wanted to reflect. And we also could have learned some instrument. Most of us think that we should have learned some instrument. This was the best time to, because it was anyway online learning. So this is something, and I know sir is looking at me because I think I'm nearing my closing time. If anybody has any little questions, sir, I still have 5 minutes or 3 minutes to go. I would love to take any questions if there are some.
Presentation was very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for your appreciation.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable inputs relating with the real life situations. Now I request Professor B.G. Reddy, sir, to take over the sessions for the discussions.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, now both the speakers they have expressed and they have just expressed their own richest experiences practically. I really thank both the speakers, and finally I will thank them later. Now it is the topic is for discussion. Now I request our senior professors to react, please. Professor Krishnamurthy sir.
Yes, sir. So I was waiting for others to.
Is here when Suresh is there. We used to open with Suresh. Then now you have occupied that position. Now Suresh is busy with his son's
Thank you very
marriage.
much. Thank you very much. My observation is that we have two parts here. One is before pandemic vaccination issues, and then after, during pandemic. So before pandemic, as I observed, there was very much limited. It was limited to children and very rarely extending to adults, particularly hepatitis and others were extended to adults. But in case of vaccination, it was mainly for children like polio, BCG, rotavirus, and smallpox. Of course, smallpox vaccination has disappeared now since 2 or 3 decades, as I see. Earlier, we used to have it, but the recent generations do not have smallpox vaccination. So it was all limited to childhood, and it was given in the hospitals and the health workers. Of course, they used to take initiative, ask them to get a vaccination, children, and so on. So that was it. It was with pandemic only we have large scale vaccination coming into the picture. So here, as both speakers have pointed out, there is what we call as a vaccination hesitancy, belief, and then trust that is coming into the picture. So I would like to analyze it with what we have as a health belief model. I have taught this model at the health psychology sessions. So in this, what we have seen is the perceived threat that comes up, and then the severity in that perceived threat itself, how much it is severe, how much the susceptibility is there. So with pandemic, it is going to be very, everyone appears to be susceptible, and the severity, as we see with the incidence of occurrences report coming up, it is affecting large number. So the second part of it is how these benefits are there, perceived benefits. If I go for vaccination, will it help me? And the barriers also that are to be perceived. So barriers, as Madam has both have pointed out, it is the hesitancy that comes up, anxiety that comes up, and cognitive labeling, information overload, all these things come up as barriers. So if I take vaccination, I will be affected. I will be going to develop a fever. I'll be developing a headache or body aches and pains, fatigue. I cannot work. So when my work is hampered for 2 to 3 days, who will take care? So this is how the benefit is observed. But on the long run, they also see that they are protected. So why vaccination? It is an antigen given to the body to develop the acquired immunity. So in this regard, we have to, I think, take up a number of studies to examine the various dimensions of these belief systems and other things to tackle the situations that are arising. So of course, the force is there. People are getting into vaccination. A large number of, they are crying, they are complaining that they are not receiving vaccination and all those things because of the impact that is being seen of the pandemic. So what I have come to say is we have to look into the belief systems that help, that is behind this behavior, and come up with certain measures that will facilitate vaccination, because vaccination is going to be a thing in the future for such pandemic conditions. We are hearing that Yes, we are hearing that vaccination protects us from variants of this COVID virus also. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Krishnamurthy garu. Next, in our midst, Professor Janardhan Reddy sir is there from Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad. Janardhan Reddy sir. Then Sudhakar Reddy garu. Sudhakar Reddy sir. Okay, then anyone from our participants, please. Dr.
Just I want to share my personal experience as I am the senior in this group as I completed my 2 doses of Covishield. Even still, I'm feeling that there is a vacuum in my body to take another dose. Still, I'm not feeling so energetic that confident that I have completed all the 2 doses. Still, I have that fear factor. So comparison is making so worse in my mind about the vaccination, because whenever my friends call me, they tell their story, because I took Pfizer because Pfizer is the most efficient vaccine in the world. Somebody told like, see, I took Moderna. So because of this over information, and it is creating a kind of fear still in my mind, even though I completed my 2 doses.
Okay.
Then I can.
Yeah, Sanjeev Kumar.
Yes,
You are creating a new moment. So here goes on first wave and second wave, and people are now talking about third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, sixth wave, like that. And you are also telling that you are not happy with even with the second dose, but you just you are moving little bit the third dose or fourth dose. Make one video and you can put there. No problem. And people may believe it, and it may also lead to confusion.
yes,
This is the thing going on during pandemic, and everyone after that Anandaya medicine, now all Ayurvedic doctors came forward. No, you can prepare like this, and you can prepare like this, and everyone, before Anandaya Ayurvedic medicine come, no one came. And once Anandaya came, then everybody came. And similarly, you are talking about the second dose also, you are not happy. And you may also just make one video. I am not comfortable, so I would like to go for third injection or third vaccine or like that. If you prepare one video, and it would offer nice.
booster dose, sir.
Sir.
What, madam? What, am I right?
Sir.
Yeah, anybody, please.
Sir, I'm Vimala.
Madam.
I'm Dr. Vimala, sir.
Please,
Sir, really, they appreciate both the speakers, Neelam and Professor Beena. They have given all the aspects of psychological aspects of attitude, belief, cognitive things and everything. And one more thing I want to add is the impact of this media. You are getting many news from media, especially the WhatsApp messages, which are making more confusion among the people. Everybody is making their own thing. Some doctors, some nurses, some whatever is there, some Ayurvedic, some immune system, herbal, like that. So many messages are coming with their personal experiences, so that it is creating more volatility and uncertainty and confusion among the people. So we are not getting, we don't know whether which is the standard. So this is creating more confusion and more anxiety among the people because of lot of information, contradictory information we are getting every day, one message.
I would like to answer this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, so this contradiction and the effect of media, that is very true. But we also discussed, I was discussing one day in my class with the PG students only, how the media is affecting, whether it is creating a fear or it is creating an awareness. So even the students felt that it is necessary to create this awareness also among the masses, though this awareness is by creating fear, by inducing fear.
Yeah.
You know, this, if we look at the data, there is a positive correlation between the severity of the disease, spread of disease, and the vaccination. Earlier, nobody was ready to take vaccination when the number of cases were very less. And they were saying, okay, take vaccination, but nobody was going for it. And as the numbers increased, and the media created much hype by telling the numbers, deaths, and all that, and everyone was running for the vaccination. So that media hype was also somehow necessary to create awareness for taking vaccination. I think so.
Yes, yes, yes.
I would like to add,
Thank you.
Madam, I would like to add. See, since 2 months, my own family members, first of all, my wife, she is away just 120 kilometers from me. She had first vaccine because her own sisters had first, and subsequently she, without informing me, she had. And since then, my wife on side, my own 2 children on other side, one of the boys who is at US, he is also pressurizing me, and everyone is pressurizing me to go for vaccine, to go for vaccine, to go for action. And you know, I was a little bit hesitant. And you know, very recently, 1 month back, I saw one video. One Nobel laureate. He said, those who have taken vaccine, they are going to die within 2 years.
Yes.
He has openly stated that. Moreover, he's a Nobel laureate. Then whom to believe, whether to believe who, Nobel laureate, or whether to believe, Madam told, just milk vendor, or to whom we have to believe. See this, and you know, this is a little bit, it is a major confusion. And you know, on the other side, people who have taken vaccination also, again they got admitted to, they had the corona, and they got admitted to hospital. So that means, in a way, this vaccination helps. But in another side, even we take vaccine and there is no use at all. Again, there is a possibility he may likely to affect with corona. This is a major confusion. And I used to talk to, including doctors, those is so-called MD specialty, super specialty doctors also. Even they themselves are not able to give accurate answer. Why? Because for them also, it is new to this, new to everyone. And recent, for 2 months back, one judge in his room itself, he committed suicide. What is this? I am not able to, because of phobia. So like this police officer, when IG died at Tamil Nadu, like this, not only media, and you know, everyone is here created a lot of confusion. You know, I think, and a very funny, very unfortunate situation is no one, these medias are not at all giving, you see, nothing to worry. And this many number got discharged and they're all okay. And just people who got admitted 10 and all 10 just they just discharged without any problem. And no media is not giving like that. And like that, it is a kind of fear psychosis. Not that they do not have immunity. And in one side, all the virologists are telling, oh, you take just what is the third race. That itself boosts up your immunity. One video. And in another side, another video. So like this, it is a really confusion. So confusion really led all, including, I mean, the so-called educators. So with a lot of hesitancy, 3-4 days back only, now I went and had vaccine.
Sir, now I am dropping my idea of going for third dose, sir, after hearing your words.
Sir, we should take it just like considering it as a placebo effect. We should
Yes.
take it and trust in it. Okay, we have taken the vaccination, we are
means-
safe. And we
that
should
means
take
all these are
precautions
in our-
also.
All these are in minds only. Mind
Yeah.
is influencing.
Yes, sir. Actually, at times I used to discuss with even our neurosurgeon, sir, Sudhakar Reddy garu. And he used to tell in a positive way. And like this, totally, though we are psychologists, even for though our studied psychology and what are the psychological skills we are having, and we are also become helpless. When the psychologists and so-called doctors are helpless, then how the psychologist also can give extend counseling to the other patient? So this is the big question mark.
Most of the times
Sir,
we are not getting
Sir,
primary data.
you need not feel that desperation. As I see, our training, our programming, all these are going to find ways of improving the present conditions.
Yeah.
Most of the
We
times we are
have
not
to
getting
be-
primary data, sir.
We will have to be hopeful. Hope is the way that steers us from this kind of situation.
Yeah, sir. True, sir. True. Yes, now anyone from our audience? Here, Dr. Srinivas Reddy is there. Would you like to add anything?
Good evening, sir. And
Please.
I am Srinivas Reddy, rehabilitation psychologist, Karimnagar, Telangana State. I am greatly honored to stand before you to earnestly express my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to World Congress of Psychologists, who has granted us this great opportunity, especially Govindra Reddy sir. The excellent presentation of my guru, my teacher, Beena madam. I am very thankful. And Neelam madam is a good, excellent presentation. Thank you for giving this opportunity, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Srinivas Reddy, for your nice contribution. Here, before just to say propose vote of thanks, and here one of our eminent professors, Professor Basavarajappa from Mysore University, he has sent one article on this psychological issues in taking vaccine before pandemic and during pandemic, because of paucity of time. Here, that was a big one, a good article, and he spent a lot of time towards it in preparing that article. And that article I would like to keep in all our for WhatsApp groups. Kindly, it is a highly beneficial article. Actually, today he was also not present because of he was engaged in another inevitable function of his own brother. So that article I will keep it in all our WhatsApp groups so that the participants can make use of that article also. And any more participants, anything you would like to contribute, please? I think no one. All right. Now, today, really, we enjoyed actually both the speakers so effectively. They gave their own richest experiences so nicely. First of all, we thank Neelam Rati Madam from Chandigarh, who has accepted the moment I gave a call, she readily accepted, for which on behalf of WCOP, World Congress of Psychologists, and on my personal own behalf, I really congratulate you, madam, for your just sparing your valuable time and
Thank you, sir.
presenting a nice talk so that our own majority of the participants might have benefited. So thank you very much. I would
Thank
like
you,
to,
sir. Thank you, sir.
receive your help even in future also.
Yeah, sure.
Our senior most professor, Beena madam, I like her all the time. She was senior most professor, and she was away for my messages and for my any information for the past 2 months. And recently, Madam again, she came in touch to my just looking into the messages or something I am sending to her. She is just again, she's she could be able to spare her valuable time to look into the any messages which I have sent to her. So I thought again I can catch hold of Madam so that she can of much help. She can give a good lecture on this topic. She was really for which I should also be thankful to Madam because Madam has a richest experience. Richest experience in Osmania University. Those days, I was a research scholar. So many stalwarts were there in Osmania University. Professor E.G. Parameswaran sir, then Professor Ramchandra Reddy, Professor N.Y. Reddy, then so many stalwarts. Really a good best departments. Particularly, we can say in Andhra Pradesh those days. So we were those days. They are coming to Tirupati. And we thought them as so big people, just topmost people. We used to enjoy like that. So like that, and Professor E.G. Parameswaran contributed a lot. And moreover, he just giving talk means everyone used to attend and appreciate E.G. Parameswaran sir. And similarly, Madam happened to be the student of colleague and student to P.G. Parameswaran.
I'm trained by him, sir.
That's what.
In a book with him, my PhD was with him. He shaped me so much. I'm ever grateful to him.
Yeah, you are a fortunate in that.
Very fortunate.
Really, like that today, Madam, I am really once again thankful.
You, sir. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you for some help because I'm planning some webinars. With your help, we should be able to do.
Here to help you. Here, the group which I am having, all senior professors are really they're devoted, and we are here to help you.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, we would like to do these. Some of the released prisoners will be the facilitators.
Sure.
They will be the resource persons. Sir, it's very useful to learn from them certain things which we will not be able to understand.
Really, madam, really.
Because that's the real time experience, especially when they talk about alcohol addiction prevention. I think we should be able to involve a lot of students.
Yeah.
Because that's what in pandemic, this is an increased, sir.
Yes, yes.
Substance consumption and all these things.
Yeah,
so I'm especially working on that.
Yeah, these webinars also on Wednesday, one more webinar is there. On 3rd, we are closing down with inviting 2 more foreigners. That by 3rd, we will be completing. By 7th onwards, we are our priority is going to have workshops. In our midst, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir is there. Is really a highly efficient personality. We are seeking his help, and he said he is readily accepting. And already we have planned the so-called trainers from foreign, so-called trainers from our India also. Now, as soon as the 1 or 2 days, our website is going to be over, and in that we are going to keep all the 4 workshops, and likely the same trend we would like to extend even to August also. Because now that central government also came forward to appoint psychologists through Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, and right time we're also just conducting so many workshops for our psychology graduates and postgraduates, and which would be of much help. And the other day also one of our speakers pointing out WCOP motto is train yourself and train others. This is a quite apt motto. So we all just joining together and we'll do something for the benefit of the student,
of the community, right?
And we can do some kind of justice. If at all anything we do, our generation should only do, and later on we do not know what would happen. But anyway, thanks to God, at least he is giving us good health, That's why we're all just today we are talking each other happily and we are discussing, and it is for the benefit of the student community. And now my own students, now they're all just highly, they're working in different positions. And I think we are in a way, we're all fortunate people being a teacher. We should feel appreciate our own students that they are even as far as talents are also concerned, they have crossed us. That we should also appreciate. Anyway, now I request our own Sanjeev Kumar, please give very brief vote of thanks.
Sure, sir. Very good evening, all the members. I am Talar Sanjeev Kumar. On behalf of World Congress of Psychologists and the entire team, and on my personal behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers for attending and delivering your views, findings, and opinions today. And I would like to thank Professor Neelam Rathigaru, Department of Psychology, PG Government College for Girls, Chandigarh, for her efforts towards today's topic, psychological issues in taking vaccination before pandemic. And a few of the important ideas shared by her in her speech today are major issues facing by the individuals in taking vaccination, like side effects to different parts of the body and other symptoms. Mentioned the role of social campaigns in creating awareness about vaccination, like polio campaign endorsed by Amitabh Bachchan earlier. And I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Dr. Beena ma'am, Department of Psychology, Usmania University, Telangana, for her best explanation of today's topic. And few thoughts from her speech are focused on refuse or over enthusiasm of different category of people like common man, prisoners, etc., towards getting vaccine. Cognitive labeling against vaccination happening with people. And third one, many people having anxiety regarding few issues like whether the vaccine is working or amount of medicine given is correct or not, etc. And how much anxiety causing because of labeling and self-professing. And she also addressed present a human example from red light area to mention the present mindset of people who are changing their business in the process of coping the present situation. And I'd like to thank you, ma'am, for all your wonderful effort in today's webinar. And I'd like to extend my hearty thanks to Professor B.G. Reddy sir again for his active organizing and started the session with his personal experience regarding different phobia of taking vaccine and medicine. And for the beautiful quote at the end, train yourself and train others. Thank you, sir. I also extend my thanks to Dr. Sandhya, Dr. Anupama for their enormous cooperation and supporting role in the organization of this event. To finish, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Vimala and Dr. A.R. Krishnamurthy sir, Dr. Srinivas Reddy Garu for their contribution and giving their views regarding today's topic and today's seminar. And all the other participants also for their valuable presence and valuable contribution. I wish you all a happy and safe time. Thank you and take care. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjeev Kumar, for you, just for you and Dr. Sandhya, Dr. Anupama, and you are really coordinating the program. And also thank the senior most core committee members and today's speakers and today's participants too. Once again, thank you, one and all. Good day. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr.